two steep slope, or steepest slope. This is one of them. Good news is we're not going right to the top of Haytor unless you particularly wanted to. We're just going to go up to the ridge and then come down into the quarries. We're going to go through a quarry, disused quarry, and then we're going to see the old tramway.
Look at Dartmoor, a national treasure. It was formed millions of years ago when what we know as England was located elsewhere on the globe. Look at Earth back in the Cambrian period, some 541 million years ago, and it would be unrecognisable. Later came the Devonian period, 419 million years ago, where land masses became afforested. This led to the Carboniferous period, some 400 million years ago. In the seas, fish evolved. In this organic dead material laid down carbon-based sediments, which over time became limestone and sandstone, interspersed with the occasional volcanic eruption. By 290 million years ago, a great mountain building period occurred called the Cornubian period. The crust was split open and surges of magma filled the spaces. Conditions changed over 250 million years ago, the Permian period. Sea levels changed and what was on top of mountains was underwater and vice versa, as the Earth's crust was still on the move. The climate became milder and Jurassic period and into the Cretaceous period of 145 million years ago. There were shallow seas. The Devonian rock was eroded, exposing the Granite intrusion. In more recent times, a series of ice ages has further carved and sculpted the hard granite rock through freeze-thaw to the shape of the craggy outcrops we know today. The batholith, which is Dartmoor and which re-emerges on Bodmin Moor, is believed to be between 10 and 17 kilometres thick. It's late August, and the colours are particularly vibrant this time of year with the yellows and purples of the heather and gorse. Haytor is located above Bovey Tracy and gives a commanding view over towards Newton Abbot and the Tean estuary beyond. In fact, Newton Abbot was an important location for the export of the granite that was quarried at Haytor, and you can see here the line of the tramway as it goes towards the quarries behind Haytor itself. And this is the precious commodity granite, the igneous rock made up of quartz, feldspar and mica. Believe it or not, this was the location for the 1953 film of Knights of the Round Table, starring Ava Gardner and Robert Taylor. Our walk took us to the first of 5 quarries located around Haytor. Now it's quite overgrown and nature has taken control once again. Inside the quarry there's archaeological evidence of the industry that took place within the quarry itself. And scattered around the actual quarry there are signs that the stone has been split using a method called feather and tear. The job of splitting a piece of rock was a long and arduous one. First of all, you had to create your line, and using what they call a jumper, which is a long chisel, cold chisel, was to bang it, twist it, until you had a row of holes into which you placed the feather and tears, and you just keep banging them in until you split the rock. And this piece of rock most adequately indicates or shows how the feather and tear system work, with the jumper holes clearly indicated here. What was this industry all about? Well, the quality of the granite on Dartmoor was a wonderful material to build grandiose buildings in the cities around England. For example, London Bridge, now situated in Arizona, the British Museum, and the purpose-built General Post Office building in the East End of London. It was James Templar who in 1790 had the foresight to bring the granite down from Haytor to his estate at Stover. This is the site of the Ventiford Basin where the tramway from Haytor granite quarries terminated. Today the site has been reclaimed by nature. The old tramway did not use rails. Instead, it used granite sets, which in cross-section was fashioned into an L shape. The wagon wheels would run on the outside of the granite. This is where things get really interesting, because instead of rails in the normal sense, metal rails, the rails are actually made of granite itself, fashioned into that L shape. And here is a point or a switch system in the network of railways that went, or tramways that went from quarry to quarry. The terrain was really rugged, and teams of horses were needed to get up and down the slopes. As you can see, a train would have been able to do that, but teams of horses were able to either be worked as brakes or to haul the large quantities of rock up the hills. And here indeed is an example of the L-shaped rails, or the granite sets that makes the rails. Can you see that the wheels went on the outside of the rail onto this curb step? Just outside of the quarries are a series of these embankments, which were meant as a place to tip out the unnecessary and unwanted pieces of rock that were not used. And it's littered the place. And here you can see the feather and tear marks of a discarded rock there. But now I'll just leave the Plymouth IVC group to enjoy the rest of their walk and enjoy the scene.